Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to just go over a few of the common mistakes that I see homeowners repeating over and over again as I'm out servicing clients here in the area. Regarding homeowners policies, I have found that a lot of people, when they get their homeowners policy, this happens to be my homeowners policy, when they get it in the mail, they look at it, they're not really thinking what it really is. They're thinking it's like maybe a mutual fund prospectus. I know when I get my mutual fund prospectuses, I look at them. I'm not really interested too much in what the underlying investments are. I'm just interested in the annual return. So with that, I'm trying to reduce my paper, so I throw it away in file 13. But when you do that with your homeowner's policy, you're throwing away a very important document that may come back to haunt you someday. As part of my service, when I go in and talk to people, first thing I ask is to go get their homeowner's policy and declaration sheet so that I can read it to see what their coverages are in relationship to the contents they have in their home. I have found that 60% of all homeowners cannot get their policy within 15 minutes. The majority really have just no idea where it's stored at all. I find that even if they can find their policy, that 80% can't produce a current declaration sheet that shows what their coverages are today. So this is a very big problem, because if you ever have a situation where you need that policy, if you call your agent or your company and request the policy, you'll find that you're going to have a fairly hard time getting it, because generally speaking, the companies don't, they send you a new policy every time your policy renews. On your renewal date, you'll get a new policy in the mail, but if you throw it away, you're throwing away your contract, which is really the rules of the game. If you call your insurance company or your agent and ask them for a new policy, they immediately get pretty nervous, because they think there's only about one of three things that can be happening. Number one could be that there's an agent in there that's asking to look at your coverage because he's trying to make a competitive quote. So they don't want another agent from another company coming in and stealing their policy holders. Number two, there might be an occurrence that's happened, and actually maybe you've become involved with an attorney, and your attorney wants to read your contract, and the insurance company really discourages that as well, because there might be a liability situation coming down the line. And so the real key is keep a copy of your policy, and not only keep a copy of your policy, keep it in a secured place. If you've got the ability to scan your documents, scan it, put it in a computer file somewhere where you can get to it, so that if you need it, it will be there. Second big mistake I find when I go out and I review coverages for folks as part of my service in our inventory business, I always read the policy and look at their declaration sheet. And in my experience, less than 10% of the homeowners have reviewed the coverage with their agent in the last 5 years. The big tip-off is these days, in this day and age, when I see a $500 deductible on a homeowner's policy, I know right then and there that they've not seen their agent within the last 5 years, because most agents are now moving their clients to $1,000 deductibles, because no client is going to make a $500 claim. Everybody knows that if you make too many claims, your insurance company is going to either raise your rates or maybe cancel you outright. So most people are raising their deductibles to $1,000. This saves you generally about 15 to 20% of your annual premium on your homeowner's policy. So it's a very good move. But the short story is, when I see a $500 deductible, I know automatically that this client does not have that close of a relationship with their agent. The next thing I would talk about is when I'm talking about inventory, contents inventory of your home, the next thing I always talk to my clients about is the contents inventory of your purse or your wallet. These are the forgotten contents that people really have no idea whatsoever what's inside their purse or their wallet. If you take a look at remembering what's inside your home, you may remember 10%, but in most cases, if you have to remember what's inside your purse or your wallet, you might be lucky if you remember a credit card or two, but with most folks, they carry multiple cards, multiple pieces of identification, and this becomes very problematic if your purse is lost or stolen, especially in this day and age when we have identity theft to contend with. Time is of the essence if you lose your purse or your wallet for any reason. So I always discuss with my clients about making a complete inventory of the contents of your purse or wallet, so that if this eventuality happens, you know who to call, and you can call them very promptly to get all your cards shut down and replaced as quick as possible. Next common mistake I find with most people these days is that their jewelry endorsements, if they have any at all on their policies, are completely out of date. The appreciation on gold during the past decade or so has drastically affected the value of fine jewelry, to the point where people don't realize how much their jewelry is worth. And of course, if burglars break into a home, the first thing they're going for is looking for the jewelry that's in the jewelry boxes, which in many cases are just laying out in full view. So if somebody breaks into a home, they go right for the jewelry box, they get the good jewelry, and folks have no idea what the value of it is. So again, as part of my service, I very much encourage folks to have, it's worth the money to have a new appraisal done on all your fine jewelry, to get those values updated in your insurance policy on your endorsements, so that if you ever lose the jewelry for any reason or at all, you'll get a full value from your insurance company. Last mistake that I would point out to most people is that most families have no emergency plan in place in case of a disaster. Now, Kendall Inventory Service is a participating member of the National Preparedness Coalition. This is part of a FEMA Ready America project that encourages all of us to get a kit, make a plan, stay informed. We all live in a world of peril, when most things, just about anything can happen, and it seems to happen these days to an awful lot of people. The huge hurricanes, wildfires, tornadoes, all kinds of incidents happening all over the country all the time, and most of us are very much not prepared to deal with a circumstance such as this if it happens to us. So being minimally prepared for such occurrences can literally make the difference for you and your family. Now, if you're not familiar with this material, go to our website, kendallinventoryservice.com. Just write me a little email. I'll be happy to send you a booklet. This booklet is a very good starting point. We provide this to all of our clients at Kendall Inventory Service, but I'd be happy to provide it to you upon request. Just send us a little note in the email, and we'll be happy to get this out to you. Now, once again, I hope these tips have been helpful, and we'll see you the next time. Until then, this is Greg Holton signing off.